This morning on the Morning Blend, we're joined by Tracy Wimmer from Consumers Energy, the spokesperson, and always good to see you. Let's talk about March is Michigan wildfire season. So what are some proactive steps that Consumers Energy is taking to help stop the spread of wildfires?
Yeah. So last year we announced and launched our wildfire risk mitigation plan, which is the first of its kind in the Midwest, and it is how we are specifically focusing on areas that have the highest risk for wildfire and what we can do as a company to prevent any issues happening. And so that includes doing an increased amount of tree trimming and vegetation removal around our lines in those areas that are high risk. It's also monitoring the technology that we have in that area to make sure that it's functioning properly, so that if, for example, there is a wildfire that's already happening, we can quickly de-energize those lines so it doesn't exacerbate things. And it's also, we have a new system that we're utilizing to provide alerts to our customers to say, hey, we know that there is a potential on this particular day. We work with the National Weather Service to see if there's, like I said, a potential for a wildfire that day. And when there's a high risk, we let our customers in that area know. Because of this potential, we might end up shutting down the power in your area, just because we want to make absolutely sure if a wildfire does start that it doesn't create a bigger problem.
Okay, all right. And it's good to know if those conditions are in place that's not the day to burn your brush pile, right?
Yes, yep, absolutely.
All right, so talk about why Consumers Energy is getting involved in the wildfire space.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I've mentioned before that tree trimming is the #1 cause of outages that we have, right? But when the tree limbs come down, if they're on a line that it doesn't necessarily take the power out of that line, obviously that can cause a huge issue if it starts a spark or a small fire, right? And many people don't realize that with the conditions that we have in Michigan, especially with our changing climate, we have between 10 and 12,000 wildfires in the state a year.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Most of them, hear about them,
most of them are really small, but you know, think about a couple years ago, we had that big one in the Grayling area, right?
That's right, yep.
And all it takes is one little spark, and we never ever want to be the cause of that spark. And so that's why we're putting this increased focus, knowing that the dangers are escalating, on making sure that we do everything we can to prevent this issue.
All right. What does that entail exactly?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, we're doing increased tree trimming and even vegetation removal in areas where we know that there's going to be the potential risk. And especially, you know, we're looking in places where we've got a lot of lines and a lot of forest, but not necessarily a lot of people around, because we know that's the biggest danger.
All right. ConsumersEnergy.com for more information. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, guys.